Here are all 45 narration segments, 2 to 3 sentences each, separated by blank lines. You would rather stay up until 2 a.m. completely alone, drowning in something you cannot figure out, than send one text saying, "Can you help me with this?" And the frustrating part is you do not even fully understand why. You just know that asking feels wrong. It feels like too much. Like you would be bothering someone. Like they would see something in you that you have worked very hard to keep hidden. Here is what no one tells you: that feeling did not come from nowhere. It came from somewhere very specific. And the way you relate to asking for help says more about your psychology than almost anything else about you. Stay with me. Because by the end of this, you are not going to feel broken. You are going to feel understood. Think about the last time you genuinely needed help. Not a Google search kind of need. Real help, from a real person. What happened in your body in that moment? Did your chest tighten? Did you start calculating whether the ask was too much? Did you eventually just not ask? Did you figure it out yourself, exhausted, and then tell yourself, "That is just how I am"? Here is the truth. That is not just how you are. That is a pattern. The people who struggle most to ask for help are often the most capable, most emotionally intelligent people in the room. And that is not a coincidence. It is a psychological signature. Today we are breaking down the 5 traits behind it. And by the time we reach the 5th one, something is going to click for you. Trait number 1. You learned early that your needs were inconvenient. This is not about dramatic childhood trauma. This is about something quieter, the small moments that rewired you. Maybe your parents were stressed a lot. Maybe they were emotionally unavailable in that specific way where they were physically present but completely unreachable. And as a kid, you were perceptive. You could feel when the room was heavy. So you stopped adding to it. You stopped asking for things and started handling everything yourself, because asking felt like loading more weight onto someone already buckling. And here is what that does over time. It rewires your brain to associate needing something with being a burden. It is not a conscious thought. It is a body-level belief. Research confirms this pattern. Children who feel their needs are conditional are significantly more likely to silence themselves as adults. Not because they are weak. Because they were trying to protect the people they loved. Pause on that for a second. You were not being difficult when you stopped asking. You were being protective. You were trying to make yourself easier to love. That instinct made complete sense when you were 7. The problem is you are not 7 anymore, and that instinct is still running the show. Trait number 2. You have a deeply ingrained belief that self-sufficiency is your identity. There is a certain type of person who wears independence like armor. From the outside it looks like strength. But here is the question worth sitting with. Is your independence something you chose? Or is it something you built because depending on others felt too dangerous? Psychologists call the extreme version of this hyper-independence. And what is fascinating is that it does not come from arrogance. It comes from a wound. Hyper-independence develops when you learn that leaning on people leads to disappointment. Maybe you asked for something once and got rejected, minimized, or made to feel foolish for even asking. And so you built this identity. The one who handles it. The one who never needs anything from anyone. And here is the cruel twist. People start relying on that version of you. They call you strong, they call you capable, they come to you with their problems. Now asking for help does not just feel uncomfortable. It feels like a betrayal of who you are. Like it would shatter the image everyone has of you. Including the image you have of yourself. So you keep carrying things alone, because it became the only version of you that you knew how to be. Trait number 3. You catastrophize the act of asking. This one lives in the overthinking part of your brain, and if you are watching this, you know exactly what that part feels like. Here is what happens when someone like you needs help. You do not just ask. You run a full simulation first. You imagine the pause before they answer. You imagine their tone when they say yes but mean it is inconvenient. You imagine them thinking less of you. And then you think, I will just handle it myself. This is what psychologists call rejection sensitivity. Rejection sensitivity is when the possibility of a no feels genuinely catastrophic. Not disappointing. Catastrophic. Like it would confirm something you have always secretly suspected about yourself. So you protect yourself the only way that feels safe. You never give anyone the chance to reject you. You reject the ask before it even leaves your mouth. Stanford research found something striking. People consistently underestimate how willing others actually are to help. Study after study shows that being asked makes people feel trusted, valued, and needed. The rejection you fear almost never happens. But your nervous system does not know that. It is not operating on logic. It is operating on old data, on the one time someone made you feel small for needing something. Trait number 4. You feel like your problems are not serious enough to deserve help. This one is quiet and vicious. It is the voice that says, other people have real problems. You should be able to handle this. So you shrink your pain. You minimize it. You convince yourself you are almost there, just need a little more time. And you keep going. Alone. Getting more and more depleted. The cruel irony is that this trait shows up most in people who are the most compassionate toward others. You would drop everything for a friend struggling with exactly what you are carrying right now. But you will not give yourself the same permission. Somewhere along the way you developed 2 measuring sticks, one for everyone else, and one for you. And the one for you is brutal. When your sense of worth is tied to how much you can handle without falling apart, needing help becomes evidence of failure. Not just a practical need. A moral failure. And that is an unbearable thing to believe. So you just keep pushing. And you wonder why you feel so alone. Trait number 5. You were never actually taught how to ask. Asking for help is a skill. Not just emotionally. Practically. There is a difference between knowing it is okay to ask and actually knowing how to form those words in your mouth, in a real moment, with a real person. A lot of people who struggle to ask never saw it modeled in a healthy way growing up. They either saw hyper-independence, everyone suffering silently and calling it strength, or need expressed through explosion and crisis. So they never learned the quiet middle ground. The calm, direct, I need some help with this. Those 6 words are one of the hardest sentences in the English language for someone like you. Because no one ever said them in a healthy, non-shameful way in front of you when it mattered. Your nervous system has no template for it. You cannot do what was never shown to you. The part of you that struggles to ask for help is not a character flaw. It is not weakness. It is a deeply loyal set of responses your psychology built to protect you from real pain. It worked. It kept you safe. It helped you survive. But the same walls that kept the pain out are now keeping the connection out too. Asking for help is not admitting defeat. It is saying, I trust you enough to see me at less than my best. For someone like you, that is not weakness. That is the deepest form of courage. You do not have to figure out everything alone. You never did. The people in your life are just waiting for you to let them in. Maybe the most radical thing you can do today is send one text. Hey, I am struggling with something. Can we talk? 6 words. See what happens. Let the data update. If this felt a little too accurate, drop a quiet period in the comments. Just a dot. No explanation needed. Because you have been operating on old information for a long time, and you deserve to find out what happens when you finally stop.
Like to learn more about human psychology? Like, comment, and share this video. Subscribe my channel now. Thank you for watching.